Good morning, listeners of Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today, August 17th, 2024, we're bringing you the critical news updates. A bizarre case unfolds in Missouri where a 53-year-old woman has been arrested for attempting to steal Graceland, the iconic mansion of Elvis Presley. She faces federal charges of mail fraud and identity theft after trying to extort the Presley family, threatening to sell the property unless a hefty settlement was paid. This complex scheme included forged documents and alleged connections to Nigerian fraudsters. In international news, President Joe Biden has emphasized the proximity to a ceasefire deal in Gaza following extensive negotiations. He announced the deployment of Secretary of State Antony Blinken to Israel to bolster the ongoing peace efforts. This announcement came alongside a joint statement from the U.S., Qatar, and Egypt detailing a proposal that could potentially end the hostilities, including terms for a ceasefire and hostage release. Turning our focus to the Middle East, the Israeli military continues its operations in Gaza amid rising casualties and escalating conflict. The proposed ceasefire agreement includes several phases aimed at reducing hostilities, swapping prisoners, and ultimately, a major reconstruction plan for Gaza. Additionally, with the pressing health crisis of polio spreading in refugee zones, the urgency for peace and humanitarian relief has never been greater. These are today's key stories, and as these situations develop, we will continue to provide you with the most accurate and timely information. Stay tuned. Good morning, everyone. I'm Emily, your host, here to guide you through today's pressing news.
And I'm David at your service.
You're tuned into Hot Topic and Fresh News. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated with all the latest developments. Now, straight to the hot topics.
Can you break down this complex scheme involved with Graceland for us?
Absolutely. The scheme centered around a fraudulent claim where the suspect, a 53-year-old woman from Missouri, allegedly fabricated loan documents. She claimed that Elvis Presley's daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, had secured a loan using Graceland as collateral and defaulted on it before her death.
How exactly did the suspect plan to profit from this?
The suspect aimed to extort the Presley family by demanding a settlement of $0.85 million. If not paid, she threatened to sell Graceland to the highest bidder at a foreclosure sale, which was, fortunately, halted by a judge.
What legal actions have been taken against this fraudulent activity?
The U.S. Justice Department acted swiftly. The suspect now faces charges of mail fraud and identity theft. Moreover, when her plans unraveled, she tried to deflect blame onto Nigerian identity thieves, complicating her legal situation further.
What's the significance of Graceland in this context?
Graceland isn't just a mansion, it's a piece of American music history tied deeply to Elvis Presley. Since his death in 1977, it has been a tourist attraction, drawing hundreds of thousands annually. This attempt to steal Graceland was not just a legal offense but an attack on a cultural landmark.
How has the Presley family responded to this ordeal?
The family, particularly Elvis's granddaughter, Riley Keough, has been proactive. She filed a lawsuit which successfully blocked the foreclosure sale, asserting that the documents were forged. It's a clear stand to protect their heritage and legal rights.
Transitioning now to a very different yet critical subject, can you outline the latest efforts to secure a ceasefire in Gaza?
Certainly. President Joe Biden has expressed cautious optimism about reaching a ceasefire soon. He's noted that negotiations have brought us closer than ever to such an agreement. He's also sending Secretary of State Antony Blinken back to the Middle East to bolster these efforts.
What role are other countries playing in these negotiations?
Joint efforts by the United States, Qatar, and Egypt have been pivotal. They've proposed a ceasefire and hostage release deal that reportedly narrows the gaps between Israel and Hamas, which is a significant step toward peace.
How have the negotiations been described by those involved?
The mediators have highlighted the last 2 days of discussions as serious, constructive, and conducted in a positive atmosphere. It's clear there's a strong international push to avoid this conflict escalating further.
What are the next steps in these negotiations?
Technical teams are set to continue working on the details of the proposed terms. There's an upcoming meeting in Cairo where senior government officials hope to finalize the agreement laid out in Doha.
With these ongoing efforts, what has been the reaction from Hamas?
There's a note of skepticism from Hamas. A senior official indicated that the outcomes of the recent meetings in Doha don't yet secure a commitment to implement what was agreed upon on the 2nd of July, so there's still a road to travel on this.
And what's the broader significance of these talks?
Beyond the immediate aim of stopping hostilities, these talks are critical in preventing the conflict from turning into a broader regional war. It's a delicate balance, with high stakes not just for Israel and Gaza, but for global stability.
Given the severe humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza, could you detail the phases of the proposed ceasefire deal?
Absolutely. The first phase involves a full and complete ceasefire for 6 weeks, during which Israeli forces will withdraw from all populated areas of Gaza. This phase also includes an exchange of some hostages, specifically women, the elderly, and those who are sick or wounded, for Palestinian prisoners.
And what does the second phase entail?
The second phase is focused on the release of all remaining living hostages and aims to establish a permanent end to hostilities between the parties involved.
There's mention of a third phase as well?
Yes, the third phase is particularly crucial as it addresses the long-term recovery of Gaza. It includes starting a major reconstruction plan for the area and also the return of the remains of deceased hostages, which is a sensitive and important aspect for many families.
With this escalating crisis, how are the current conditions affecting the civilians in the zone?
The situation is dire. Gazans are facing a severe hunger crisis, and now there's the threat of a polio epidemic within the Israeli-designated humanitarian zone. This is a zone where hundreds of thousands of displaced Palestinians are currently taking refuge.
How is the international community responding to these developments?
The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres emphasized that the ultimate vaccine for polio is peace and an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. His statement underscores the urgent need for a ceasefire to prevent further humanitarian catastrophe.
And what steps are being taken on the ground right now?
Israeli forces have issued new evacuation orders in northern Khan Yunis and Deir Bala, further reducing the already limited humanitarian zone. This move has been justified by the presence of significant acts of terrorism, including the firing of rockets and mortars towards Israel. The situation remains incredibly tense, with every passing day increasing the need for a swift and comprehensive peace agreement. Thanks for joining us on Hot Topic and Fresh News today. We've delved into the tense and evolving situation in Gaza, discussing the potential for a ceasefire and the humanitarian crisis that continues to unfold. Your engagement is crucial to us. Please subscribe, ring that notification bell, and share our episodes. Your feedback in the comments helps us grow and improve.
And hey, don't forget to keep the conversations going, whether it's over a coffee or on social media. We're here bringing you the latest every day. There's always something intriguing on the horizon, so make sure you're tuned in.
We truly appreciate your support and can't wait to bring you more insights next time.
Thanks for being such a fantastic audience. Remember, the news never sleeps, and neither do we.
Stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.